StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And then on top of all this, we're not done. We're going to give you a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, especially yourself, yes, you, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then what we do is we put all this together into one philosophy, one bundle, one process. We have codified our whole system. We wrote a book on it. We got a university open, and you're listening to this daily masterclass that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic, this is a topic that I was actually on. Actually, let me tell you the topic first, then I'll get into the story. The topic is how to build an audience and generate leads without advertising. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this topic is I was in Clubhouse, which is an app that I have used. I've dabbled with Clubhouse a little bit. Y'all don't know what Clubhouse is. It's kind of like, it's like live audio. It's a live audio chat room. So it's basically AOL Instant Messenger, for those of you old enough to remember. Most of y'all are not, so let me back up. Let me give a better description of it. It's like a live, like Twitch, I guess, but only audio. It's only live stream. There's no recordings. There are no comments. There's no pictures. There's no video. It's just audio, and you have to actually be there in the moment to participate. All right, that's what it is. So if somebody can give me a better phrase that I can use to describe that, I'll start using it. But at the moment, it's escaping me. It doesn't even matter. But I was in that room, and I was talking to some entrepreneurs, and they were just asking about, how am I going to start to, build my audience? I don't have a big audience. I don't have a lot of followers on social media. I don't have a big list. But this is what I want to do. I want to sell this and do these things. So how am I going to get my name out there? And I gave them an answer. And the answer was to them, they were enlightened by the answer. And I said, damn, I need to actually give this to the Work on Your Game audience, because I hadn't even given it to y'all yet. So I'm going to give it to you right here today. Now, when we hear any of you who is in business, any freelancers, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, when we hear the phrase lead, like getting leads for your business. If you sign up for somebody's email list, you are a lead. If someone's selling a product and you give them your email address in the process of buying it, you are a lead. If you get emails from me every day, those articles that I send out, you are a lead you're on my email list. But that's not a negative thing. I'm giving you great value in exchange for it. I hope in exchange for free. I think I'm giving you much more than you had to give me. But the whole point is, when we hear the phrase leads, and especially anyone who's in any type of digital marketing or advertising, we usually think of advertising, meaning you have to spend some money to get people to click on your link and then come to your page and get their email address or their phone number or whatever it is. Spending money. That's what we think of as the creator. I'm not talking about you that signs up. I'm talking about the person who's trying to get people to sign up. We think of, we had to spend a certain amount of money to get people to know us who otherwise would not know us. Or we hope that in order to get leads, we hope that people come find us, which usually does not work, especially every day with more and more people getting onto the internet, more and more podcasts launching, more and more blogs. I don't know, do people still blog? Probably. More and more blogs, more and more YouTube channels, Instagram accounts, people joining Clubhouse. Everybody's selling something. Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a speaker. Everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody's an expert. With so many people in the game, so many people jumping in the goddamn pool, there's not a whole lot of space. Or there's not a whole lot of space to lay out and get a tan in the sun, because everybody's laying on all the beach chairs. So any of you ever been to the Fountain Blue Resort in Miami Beach, and you try to get a beach chair on a Saturday afternoon, forget about it. At least not two next to each other. You probably won't get it. You ever been to Vegas and there's a nice sunny day, and there are a lot of nice sunny days in Vegas, and you want to get a beach chair so you can lay out and get your tan on, and not black people. We already got tans. We don't lay out in the sun, but every other color individual, then it's pretty hard to do, simply because there's too many people in there. So how are you going to do this? Well, the good thing is, the challenge is I'm presenting that question. And I know it's a question that some of you need answers to, and some of you don't even know you're going to need answers to this, but you will need answers. So I suggest that you bookmark this, or give yourself a note, or send yourself a text to remind yourself to bookmark this episode, because when you do need leads, you will want to come back to what I'm going to tell you here today. I'm going to give you the game at a level that, listen, I should be charging you for what I'm about to tell you here today. So please take notes I should be charging you for every episode of the show. So please take notes on what I'm about to give you here today on Work on Your Game. So let's talk about how you can build an audience and generate leads without having to do any advertising. Point number one, go to where it's at and give value. This is the number one thing you can do. If you want to get leads for your business, meaning when I say a lead, this is what I mean. A person who has given you their contact information and thusly granted you permission to contact them and market your products, services, content, ideas, etc. That's what I mean when I say a lead. I should have defined that at the beginning. So let me say it again, what I mean when I say a lead. A lead does not mean a social media follower. A social media follower is not a lead, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody might have told you that. They probably work for Facebook or Instagram, they're lying. That is not a lead. A YouTube subscriber is not a lead. Somebody following you on any social media app that you do not own is not a lead. Okay, we clear on that. Somebody, a fan of your Facebook page is not a lead. I got a Facebook page with 17,000 likes. None of those are my leads, not one of them. Okay, I got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. None of those is a lead. Now, some of those people are leads as well because here's what makes them a lead. Let me say it again. A person has given you their contact information and thusly granted you permission to market to them your goods, services, ideas, content, etc. Meaning, when I say contact information, this is what I mean. An email address, a physical address, phone number. One of the three, two of the three, all three. But you need at least one of these three for someone to be a lead. You need to have their email address or their physical address or their phone number. Now you might be wondering, you might get the phone number part because y'all know I got a text line. You can text me. My number is 305-384-6894. You can send me a text right now and I'll respond to you. Ask me a question. I'll be sending you my best quotes and all that stuff. Y'all hear the ad at the end of the episodes. Y'all know about it. 305-384-6894. So you can get on my text list, and when you text me, I got your number, you got my number. There's email, and any of you who's gotten any of my books, you put your email address in when you got the book. If y'all physically shipped you the book, you put your physical address in. I'm not a stalker. I'm not going to come to your house. But I have your physical address. This means if I ever want to send you something or send you some swag, I got your address. I can mail it to you. I know a guy, my guy Ryan. I met him at a marketing conference a year plus ago. And he told me he does most of his business through physical mail, believe it or not. He does physical, you know, some of you who are old enough, and if you're not, you can ask your parents. Back in the day, before the internet was as ubiquitous as it was, people would actually send out physical mail to market their stuff. So before we got emails of people trying to sell you stuff through email, like me. Back in the day, what people would do is actually write that stuff out and print it out on physical paper, and they would physically mail it to your house. So you would get it in the mailbox. You would open the mail, read the letter, and then you could buy it by calling a number or mailing a check or mailing a money order in the mail and getting products. That's what people used to do back in the day. That's what everybody who was marketing back in the day did. This guy, Ryan, he does that now today, 2021. He still does that, and the guy makes a lot of money. I remember first time I met him, he was talking about advertising. I said, how much do you spend in advertising? He said, we spend 6 figures a month in advertising. Let me tell you something. If someone's spending 6 figures a month in advertising, they're making money because nobody is going to just burn money and flush it down the toilet, that amount. But anyway, you don't have to be like Ryan, meaning you don't have to do physical mailings because I ain't doing that shit. And you don't have to spend 6 figures a month in advertising. I don't do that either. Here's what you do. Number one thing you do is you must go to where it's at and give value. Now, what does that mean? Because I just used 2 phrases that could be interpreted in many different ways. One is where it's at, and 2 is giving value. Let's be clear on what they are. Where it's at means who are the people, first of all, you have to answer this question. Who are the people that you want to serve? How do you want to serve them? Answer both of those questions. Who do you want to help and how? And then ask yourself, where are those people? Where do they congregate? Where do they hang out? Where are they looking? Or what are they looking for? Who do they already follow? These are questions you're going to ask yourself. And then ask yourself, value. How do I give value? What do those people, what is value? We did a whole masterclass on value. If you don't remember, let me tell you what episode that was. That was episode number, first of all, let me give you another one. Episode 1343, I talked about solving the problems and adding value. Episode 1344, diversify your value delivery. And episode number, I gotta find that episode. I don't see it here in the search that I'm looking for. But those 2 episodes, 1343 and 1344, you need to look at those. And when I pull up the other one, I'll tell you. Value is the things that people want. Value means something people want. And the way that I described it, actually, I talked about wealth. And this was episode number 1502. I talked about wealth, not buying health. In episode 1477, how to create wealth. Episode 1477. Value and wealth I'm using interchangeably for this particular conversation, meaning it is something that people want. Go to where the people that you want to serve are already at and give them what they want. That's it. This is the first way you do it. For example, some people have hopped on something like Clubhouse. They go on Clubhouse rooms and they do it. Some people do it through a Facebook page or a Facebook group. Some people reach out to people directly and offer how they can help. You might call somebody and say, for example, when the speaking business was going on, right now it's not going on, but when it starts going on again, now hopefully it will, I would reach out to someone who was putting on a speaking gig or not a speaking, putting on an event, and they needed speakers, and I would say, hey, Mr. Johnson, I wouldn't call him Mr. I'd say, hey, Bob, my name is Dre. I'm a speaker. You need speakers. Let me tell you why you should hire me. I'll reach out to them and offer them value. What am I offering them? They need speakers who will give their audience their money's worth. And I'm a guy, I'm a speaker who can give an audience their money's worth. So I can help him, he can help me. You pay me, I'm gonna give value, the audience pays you, they're happy, win-win-win situation. Giving people something that they want, that is value. There's a guy named Kevin Tarka who reached out to me and he appeared on this show. I haven't had too many guests on this show. I think maybe 5 or 6 people total ever have been on the show. Kevin had reached out to me, I didn't even know him at the time, but he ended up on my show because he was perfect. He was a perfect fit for what I was doing at the time, what I was focusing on. Kevin's a professional basketball agent, by the way. So if y'all don't know who Kevin is, any of you who wants to play basketball overseas, I suggest you reach out to him. That's episode number 1231. 1231, becoming a professional basketball agent with Kevin Tarka. He also was a D1 basketball player who walked on, by the way. So if you want to know about either one of those, again, episode 1231. And you can hit Kevin on Instagram because he said it was okay if people did so. So hopefully Kevin's been benefiting from doing that. And I was also not to tell any of you that you should start just hitting me up randomly to be a guest on the show, because usually there are no guests on the show. So all that being said, the point is he gave value. See where you can offer additional value to someone who's already giving value and make them an offer. For example, if someone is a hairstylist in your neighborhood and you are an esthetician, or you, let's say you do nails. I think estheticians do nails. I hope. If they don't, then you get the point anyway. You do nails, they do hair. All right, I'll go to them and say, yo, you got all these women who get their hair done here. They all probably want to have their nails done too, because who wants to have their hair done and got their hair fresh, but then their nails is all fucked up? Look, why don't we offer them a package deal? They get their hair done, and then they come to me, get their nails done, and look, you get a cut of everybody who comes through you. You know what I mean? We call that, in the internet, we call that affiliate marketing. People do that on the internet all the time, or someone may call it a joint venture. You can do the same thing in physical, face-to-face life. You don't have to be on the internet to do these things. Offering a package deal. If you're a personal trainer and you train people to lift weights, maybe there's somebody out there who sells supplements. So everybody who lifts weights with you, they need the supplements to help them. Any of you who's a personal trainer, your clients probably always ask you, what should I eat? Can you give me a meal plan? Can you give me some type of nutrition plan? And you probably already provide that. But what if that's not really your main focus and you know somebody who could do it even better than you? How about you do a deal with them? They offer the meal plan, you offer the fitness. They send their meal plan clients to you for the workouts. You send your workout clients to them for the fitness, and both of y'all get to eat more because both of you are in your wheelhouse doing your thing. You both get more clients and more customers. You both make more money, and you are serving your audience even better because the nutrition guy ain't good at teaching people to lift weights, and you, the weightlifting guy, ain't good at teaching people how to eat. How about you both help each other, you both help your clients, and you both make more money? Win, win, win situation. These are ways that you can give value, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this is not, you don't need to run any advertising to do this. You don't need to have an audience to do this. You don't have to have an Instagram account to do this. All you need is, first of all, to understand exactly who you're serving and how you're serving them. And then you just need some ingenuity, asking yourself a better question. By the way, I have a book called Ask Yourself a Better Question. You can get that by going to workonmygame.com/ask, A-S-K. Ask yourself the question, who is offering something that is symbiotic to what I'm offering? If you're a personal trainer, where are the people who help people? Where are the yoga practitioners? Where are the people who do acupuncture? Where are the physical therapists? Where are the nutritionists? Where are the people who sell meal plans? Where are the people who deliver meal plans? Find those people and do deals with them. All right, they need what you're offering, and you need what they're offering. All right, you can do this today. All right, you don't need to have no kind of audience. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to have a blue check. You don't need to be verified. You don't need swipe up ads on your IG. You don't need any of that. All you have to do is find the people who are offering something that you can complement, or you're offering something that they can complement. This is where you look to complement and not compete. Look for places where people can use what you do and where what you do is complementary to what they already do. If I just stop right there, all right, I just gave you a business lesson that you could take and run with right now. You could build your whole business around what I just gave you. So any of you who's a business person or an entrepreneur, a freelancer, or you're trying to get started and you feel like a lack of audience, your lack of audience is your biggest issue, it is not your biggest issue. Your biggest issue is you're just asking yourself the wrong questions. I just provided you the right question. I hope you were listening. Point number 2, and we're not even done. Point number 2, today's topic once again is how to build an audience and generate leads without advertising. Number 2, joint ventures. Now I want you to be clear about something. A joint venture is not necessarily the way that you may look at a joint venture. How many of us look at a joint venture, and I was talking to an entrepreneur one day on Clubhouse, and this is the exact topic that I was talking to her about. And this is an entrepreneur who has a business, all right, has a business, been in business for a while, has their coaching programs and opening up the enrollment for their programs, and people are signing up and paying X number of dollars in the 4 and 5 figures to sign up for their programs. And they were still having the same challenge that I'm giving you right now. And you might be a starter with 20 people on your email list trying to wondering how you can get people to know who you are. A joint venture does not necessarily mean that you have to sign a contract with somebody and you get 70%, they get 30% or 50-50 or whatever it is. A joint venture does not necessarily mean some big contracted deal and you got to have 100,000 people and they got to have 300,000 and all that. No. Let me ask you something. Do you have a podcast? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have your own magazine? Do you have anything that you create that someone else could come and add value to? Because if you do, and you are willing to invite guests, you can have a joint venture. I got a show right here called Work on Your Game. This show has been downloaded, as I say in the beginning, you hear it. The show's been downloaded over 3 million times. When I have a guest on this show, that's a joint venture. How is it a joint venture? Well, what is a venture? A venture means we're doing something to move forward. And joint means we're doing it together. That's it. That's what a joint venture is. Doing something together with another entity to move things forward. So when I had Kevin Tarka on this show, a basketball agent, that was a joint venture. He got to get some attention to his name and his brand, and I got to give some value to my audience that they couldn't have got from me because I don't have his experience, I don't have his background and his perspective. Everybody won. The audience won, he won, and I won. That is a joint venture. When I had Wes Pfeiffer on the show, joint venture. When I go on somebody else's show, that is a joint venture. When I was on Entrepreneurs on Fire, and I was on Andy Andrews, and I was on Knowledge for Men, when I was on Grant Cardone, these are all joint ventures. I gave something to their audience that the audience would not have gotten if I hadn't shown up, because I have a particular brand, a particular flavor and recipe of what I deliver that nobody else can deliver. Even if they got 100 times more followers than me, and they are 100 times bigger than me, or you think maybe they think they're better than me, it doesn't matter. They don't offer the same recipe that I offer. So it's a joint venture when I come into the room because nobody can offer what I offer. And it's the same thing with you if you know what you're offering and to whom you're offering it. Everybody clear on what I'm saying? And here's the thing. If you have your own platform, you can create the joint ventures. This is the thing. So if you start a podcast, that can be a joint venture. Every episode of your show, you don't have to do your show like me. All right, this show is more a solo venture. Most of the time it's just me, right? 99% of the episodes are just me. But most podcasts that I come across, most of the episodes, they have a guest. They got somebody else on there. Maybe it's 2 people who host the show. Maybe it's 3 or 4 who host the show. That's a joint venture. Every time you have a guest on a show, it's a joint venture because they are bringing a certain flavor and recipe to your audience that otherwise was not there. They can give that value. Your audience gets to hear from them, and you benefit because you're the one who's hosting the whole thing. You're the person who brought everybody together. You brought the audience and the guests together. You're the one who gets to benefit from it. And you got to learn at the same time. This is what somebody like, a great example, this is a guy by the name of John Lee Dumas. He hosts a podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire. He's been doing his show daily for like years, for a long time. I don't know if it's still daily. I think it is still daily, but he did daily for a really long time. He did like 4,000 episodes or something like that daily, where he was just host a different entrepreneur every day. He asked the exact same set of questions every single time. I appear on his show, and let's just say that was a great joint venture. Shout out to John Lee Dumas, JLD, because I made a lot of money from my appearance on this show, as a matter of fact. But the whole point is that was a joint venture because he created the platform, and every single day, 365 days a year, JLD had a joint venture with some other entrepreneur. because that entrepreneur got to get in front of his audience that he cultivated, and he got to give his audience the flavor of that guest who came on, and the audience benefited from it because they got to listen to a different entrepreneur every day, and they knew exactly what the questions would be, so they knew the format, and JLD got to learn from those entrepreneurs as well, and he's the one who got all the credit because he's the one who created the platform. He owned the land that whole conversation and exchange was happening on. You could do the exact same thing. What's stopping you? You got a YouTube channel? You got an Instagram account? You want to just do a live every day, interview somebody on a certain topic? You got a YouTube. You can do the same thing. You have a podcast. You have a magazine. You want to start a magazine. You got a blog. You want to bring people on to guest and write about a certain subject. You can do this right now. These are all joint ventures. The hour that somebody spends on your show affords you the chance to have them, now that they've been on your show, you follow up with them and say, hey, the episode where you guessed on my show is coming out. Hey, please share this link. Here's some artwork. Post this on your Instagram. Here's a little clip. Post this to your Twitter or your LinkedIn or to your Facebook, or ideally post them all of those. Post it there, post it here, post it there. Send it out to your email list. This is what I've been on, probably 200 podcasts / YouTube shows over the last 5 years since I've been a full-time entrepreneur. Probably more than that, but let's just say 200. The ones who are good and know what they're doing, when the episode comes out that we recorded, they send me all those assets. They say, here's the link, here's the title, here's some assets. They'll make like a little graphic image of with their logo and a picture of me and saying, hey, here's the show, here's the episode, go here with the link. They'll give me everything. All I gotta do is copy and paste, and I can just post it on my page. And that's exactly what I do. Why do they go through the pain of doing all that work to give to me and hoping that I post? Because the easier they make it for me, the more likely it is that I'm going to do it. And then that's going to bring more audience to them. Because my audience who's going to see that post like, damn, Dre was on podcast XYZ. Okay, I never heard of podcast XYZ, but I like Dre, and Dre was on it. So let me go listen to podcast XYZ. And in that moment that they go listen to podcast XYZ, that is your chance as the host of that show, of XYZ show, to now draw them into your audience. Because they could be in my audience and your audience at the same time. So it's not a zero-sum game. See, somebody can listen to 30 podcasts. They don't have to listen to just one. So this is your chance to siphon some of their audience and make them yours. I mean, you're not stealing them. Again, they can just, instead of listening to 2 podcasts, now they listen to 3. Instead of listening to 32, now they listen to 33 podcasts, and now they like yours as well. That's your chance when you do a joint venture. You have a chance to hook them into your audience, and that 1 hour or that 3-paragraph blog post or that 45-minute IG live or whatever you're doing, when you borrow that other person's influence, you borrow their audience because they're going to draw their audience over to you. But it's your job to be asking yourself the good questions that can help you with this. A speaking gig is a joint venture. When I go speak at someone's conference, what am I doing? Well, first of all, they got to pay me. Most of the time they pay me. And so that's one thing that I'm getting from it. The next thing is the person who put on the event, or the people who put on the event, they get the value of knowing that they brought a good speaker who's going to give value to the audience, which I am guaranteed to do. I've never failed at doing that. The audience wins because for the money they invested in coming to that conference, whether it's for the ticket, their travel, the hotel, and sitting in that room and giving an hour of their time, they want to get some value from the speaker, and I deliver on that. And then when I'm done speaking, or even while I'm speaking, people are going to look me up like, damn, this dude Dre is good. I never heard of him before. Let me Google him. Oh, he's on Instagram, let me follow him. Oh, he's on Twitter, I'm gonna follow him over there. Oh, he's on YouTube, I'm gonna subscribe to his channel. Oh, we got a free book called The Mirror of Motivation, which I can get at mirrorofmotivation.com. Let me go get a free copy of that book. Now I got some of those people who otherwise never would have heard of me had I not shown up on that stage. They become part of my audience. If you read my book, Work on Your Game, I mean, I did a joint venture. I was speaking at a conference in Atlanta. They didn't offer to pay me at all. It's not they didn't offer, they told me they weren't paying me. They didn't pay for the travel. They didn't pay for the food. They didn't pay for the hotel. I spent like $2,000 going to give a speaking gig for free. Now, was it worth it? It was. You know why? Because before I stepped on the stage, a woman from the NBA reached me and said, Dre, I heard of you. I knew you were going to be speaking here. So I just wanted to give you my card because we want you to do some speaking gigs for the G League teams and talk to them about transitioning from playing ball to going into the business world, which it seems like you've done. This is before I even spoke. I hadn't even spoken yet. She was already offering me a joint venture. And yes, we did do that joint venture, and I made my money back multiple times over. Then I got on the stage, gave my speech. I got out to say someone from the NCAA approached me and said, hey, we like to have speakers come in, every quarter to speak to our people. We're looking at a couple guys, and now that I've seen you, I think we're going to put you on the short list. Well, I talked to her. We didn't even end up doing that gig. But the fact that she knows my name put me in her circle, and she's still in my circle to this day, still in the context, and we keep following up. We're going to close that deal. A woman approached me after that and said, Dre, I see that you have your own books, because I had given away a copy of like the Super You and the Mental Handbook from the stage that day. But she said, have you ever thought about writing a book with a traditional major publisher? She didn't say major, she said traditional publisher. And I said, sure, I have. And she handed me her business card. All right, that exchange of a business card led to the book that became Work on Your Game, because I went and did that free speaking gig. And I'm telling you that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that that is a joint venture. The fact I went and did it for free, I'm the one who spent all the money. But that joint venture led to more money on the back end than it cost me on the front end, because I was willing to invest. So again, did I have to have an email list to do that? No. Did I have an email list? Yes. Did I have YouTube? Yes. Did I have a social media following? Yes. But none of those was the reason why I did that speaking gig. I did the speaking gig because I was able to put my framework. The speech was called Work on Your Game, by the way. I put my framework in their little application. They chose me, not because of my email list, because nobody on my email list knew about that speech. None of y'all saw it, right? It was the fact that I put myself out there boldly and authentically of what I was going to talk about, how I was going to talk about it. I did it. I invested in myself to go do it financially, and then I got that investment back on the back end because I was willing to put myself out there. Again, what's stopping anyone who is listening to this right now from doing this? And this is not about being a professional speaker. You can swap the speaking gig with starting a podcast. All right, you ain't got to travel nowhere. There's no hotel. There's no food. There's no flight. You don't have to pay for anything. All right, there's no speech. You can start a podcast from your house for free right now. All you got to do is go find some people to be on your podcast and just keep doing it. Every time you bring a person on your podcast, have them share the episode with their audience. They already have the audience. So now you borrow their influence for your own personal needs. You can do this forever. A speaking gig, a guest blog post, all of these are joint ventures. Okay? This has nothing to do with contracts, and it doesn't even involve an exchange of money between you and the person who's involved. Again, what I'm giving you right now, I hope y'all are really paying attention, because what I'm giving you right now, I could charge you for. I could put this in a course and charge $297 for this. No bullshit. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to build an audience and generate leads without advertising. Number 3, here's the process. All right, I think I've laid this out already, but I'm going to give it to you again just for anybody who wasn't paying attention. Identify your target audience, i.e. who do you want to serve and how do you want to serve them? Answer those 2 questions. Who do you want to help and how? Then ask yourself, all right, where are these people at? Where do these people hang out? Who are they already following? Who are they already listening to? Where do they congregate that I can get myself involved? Then get yourself in front of those people. So if there's a Facebook group, it doesn't have to be your group. Go into the group, join the group, and start giving value. Comment on the videos positively, whoever's audience it is. Join into their clubhouse rooms and listen to what they have to say. Ask a question. Reply to their emails with positive feedback. If you want to be part of my audience, you want to get my attention, I can tell you right now. If I say text me, text me. If I send out an email, reply to the email. Let me know what you got from it. If I'm putting out episodes of this show and something is hitting with you, let me know. Why am I telling you to do that? Because the more you do it and you're being consistent and you're being genuine, and I can tell that you're actually paying attention and not just saying it, trying to get my, I know you're trying to get my attention, but you're actually giving value in doing so, I'm going to notice you. I'm going to remember your name. And then if it ever comes time that you're asking for something, I'm willing to deal with you because I know that you've been for real and actually following what I'm doing. You're not just a mercenary trying to get something out of me. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you the hustle. Join into their rooms. If they're on something like Clubhouse, or they do a live stream, get on a live stream, ask a question. Tell them that they're giving value. Even if you don't have a question, tell them how good the stuff was. The stuff was so good, you don't have a question. If they offer something for free, go download it. If they got a free book and you just got to cover the shipping, get the damn book. Start your own platform. Start a podcast, start a YouTube channel. You create the place where people hang out. You don't have to go where they hang out. You can be the place that people hang out. John Lee Dumas, he wasn't the guy. He was nobody. He created the platform where entrepreneurs hang out. And now he's the guy, or he's one of the guys at least. Shout out to JLD. You can create that. Now you are the one with the juice, and now you can welcome people to your place. Now you got people calling you to do the same thing that you did. So who do you invite? And when you create your own platform, you're brand new, nobody knows who the hell you are. Who do you invite? Invite people who already have an audience. Now, why would somebody with an audience want to get on the show that has no audience? Well, the reason they would want to get on it is because you have already given value to them, because you've been in their audience giving value, showing up, leave a positive comment. If they have something for sale, you can afford it, you get it. At least if it's useful for you, you go get it. You're giving them feedback. When they promote something, you're involved in it, you're doing it. So when they come around, when you come around and you have an ask, they're willing to deal with you, even though their audience is 100 times bigger than yours, simply because you've been giving them value and they remember your name and they recognize you, or at least somebody in their organization does. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've done deals with people, not because that person knew who I was, but because somebody in their circle knew who I was, because maybe somebody in their circle used to watch me on YouTube back in the day. Maybe I got cool with their assistant or their assistant's assistant. And yeah, there's so many stories about that. I won't even tell right now. But those kind of things happen many times simply because I was around, I was available, I was putting myself out there. Somebody found me, I found them, I gave value, they saw the value, and that led me to this person who knew this person who knew this person, and led to a joint venture. And then some of those people came into my audience. How many people who are listening to me right now, you didn't originally find me through like a Google search or a YouTube search or just random stumbled across me? You were listening to somebody else's stuff who you already knew, you already messed with them, but then I all of a sudden popped up on their platform. You're like, damn, this guy's pretty good. Let me listen to his stuff. How many people in this audience right now fit that description? I would say today, probably, I would say a good 20 to 30% of my audience comes from that. They found me on somebody else's stuff and they liked me enough that they just kept messing with me through that stuff. Again, what I just gave you here today is I just gave you a course in audience building. If you just listen to this over and over again, you got everything that you need. I might take this down and charge for it, so you better take notes. Let's recap today's class, which is how to build an audience and generate leads without advertising. A lead, defined. A person who is giving you their email address, phone number, or physical address. One of those three only. They give you their name too, but the name, I mean, you can't really contact the name. You can contact an email, a phone number, or a physical address. All right, if you have one of those three, two or three, or all three, that is a lead. Okay, and they have given you permission to market to them. They call that permission marketing. Someone gives you their email address, they are giving you permission to market. Now they unsubscribe, now they're taking that permission back. Y'all follow me? Number one, go to where it's at and give value. All right, wherever it's at. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube comment section, Clubhouse, email. Reach out to somebody directly and offer how you can help. Now you got to know how you're going to help. Don't just reach out to somebody and say, I want to help and not know how. Because then you're giving them work. Now they got to figure it out. Somebody reaches out to me and say, Dre, I want to help. I say, all right, how can you help? They say, well, I don't know. All right, well, now I got to do the work to figure out how you can help. Don't do that. Know how you're going to help before you reach out. But if you know how you can help, do it. Offer somebody. You do hair, I do nails. Why don't we offer a package deal? All right, you sell supplements. I teach people how to lift weights. Why don't we work together? All right, you do yoga, I do Pilates. Let's do a package deal. This is where you look to complement other people, not to compete against them. Look for places where people do something that is complementary to what you do and vice versa. Number two, joint ventures. Joint venture does not necessarily mean you have to have a contract or some type of revenue split. It doesn't even have to be money involved. If you have a podcast, a YouTube channel, a magazine, a blog, and you have guests, every time you have a guest on your show, that is a joint venture. You should start treating it like a business deal. Meaning you want to get as much value from that deal as possible. You want to make sure your guest gets as much value from that deal as possible. And you want to make sure your audience gets as much value from that deal as possible. And whose job is that? All of that is your job. But none of this costs you any money. It just costs you a little bit of preparation, a little bit of attention to detail, and a little bit of being a professional. All right, all of those things you're capable of if you listen to this show. The hour they spend on your show, bring some of their audience to you. Now it's your job to keep that audience because they're going to give you a little bit of attention just to see if you're any good. And that's your chance to shine. That's your chance to perform. And point number three, the process is identify your target audience, find out where they hang out, who they listen to, then get yourself in front of the people that are in that target audience. Engage in their Facebook groups. If somebody has a Facebook group with 30,000 people and you're trying to be, and those are your target people, those 30,000, you need to get in that Facebook group and start giving value in that group. If somebody has an audience on YouTube, you need to be in their comments every time they post a video and saying what you got from the video, saying what value you got. If that person posts, hey, I got a number you can text me, text them and tell them what value they're giving you. When they put something out, reply and let them know that they're giving you something useful. If they're sending emails, reply and tell them, yo, this email was good because this is what it's doing for me. Hey, this is great value. Or ask a question if you actually have a question. If they do a live stream, be on a live stream. These are ways you can get on somebody's radar, and they could be 1,000 times bigger than you. You can get on their radar simply because you're always there, you're paying attention, and you're being genuine. All right, you can't fake this. This is something you have to really be doing. But that's why I'm telling you, you have to be intentional about who you're targeting and how you want to serve, so you know exactly who you're paying attention to, and you're not running around like a chicken with his head cut off, just trying to talk to anybody and everybody just because. Okay? Find the people who already have the eyeballs that you want, and then get them on your platform, or you, and actually or you do things to be on their platform so you're on their radar. Okay? Because they got all these people in their audience. Many of them will be surface level. You can be one of the people who's for real because you're always in there. There was a guy I heard of who got a job at, actually this was ClickFunnels. I told you Russell Brunson, who has the marketing secret show. And there's a guy who used to work for him named Steven Larson. And Steven Larson does his own stuff these days. But when he was first trying to get on, he heard of ClickFunnels. He got himself into the ClickFunnels universe. He got a job at ClickFunnels by always being in the Facebook group, and he would just be replying to comments. Every time somebody posted something, he'd be in there giving value, not replying in a sarcastic surface level way, but actually giving value, answering questions, engaging in discussion, doing stuff. And he got himself known to the point that Russell Brunson, who has a huge audience, he noticed this guy and he knew who he was. And this is something nobody knew, who had done nothing, didn't even have a funnel or anything. He noticed him because he was so active in the Facebook group, just giving value. Steven ended up getting a job at ClickFunnels, then left ClickFunnels and started his own thing. Now he does his own business thing and has his own audience. Why? Because he did exactly what I'm telling you to do right here. And he didn't do it through money. He did it through offering value. You could do the exact same thing. And I just gave you right now, today, in 35 minutes, I just gave you a course. You better take advantage, because this might not stay. Work on your game. Dre, all